We are in Orlando at one of the top destinations for theme park fans. This is Universal Orlando Resort in Orlando, Florida. Now, I want to start by how you get here. Most of you will be probably traveling by car. You'll be using Interstate 4 as your main way of getting here. If you're eastbound on I 4, you'll use exit 75A, turn left at the top of the ramp, and onto Universal Boulevard. If you are heading westbound on I 4, you'll use exit 74B and then turn right onto Hollywood Way, and that will take you to the parking booths you just saw a second ago. And once you pass through those, you'll have the option of either going to the theme parks, or you can choose to go to Volcano Bay, which is the park's water park, massive water park. I have not had the opportunity of going to Volcano Bay, but I've heard from others that it is a pretty awesome place to check out. So if you would like to check that out, it is an option for you. If you choose to go to the theme parks, you'll be placed in one of the two massive parking garages that the park has on site. Each parking garage is about 5 levels high. And you have little signs like this that point you in the direction you need to go, because even though it is 5 levels, you do need to get to level 3. That's how you get to the security checkpoint, and that's how you get into the parks. Each parking garage is divided into different sections, and these sections will basically help you locate your vehicle at the end of the day. There's a King Kong section, which was the section I was placed in this visit. There's also a Jaws section, Jurassic Park. In the other parking garage, you have Spider-Man, E.T., and Cat in the Hat. And again, these are just so you can locate your vehicle a lot easier. So just make sure you remember where you parked when you come to Universal Studios in Florida. And now what I'll be doing for this place, since there are multiple components to Universal Studios, I will be breaking up it into separate videos for each of the different areas. So there'll be a video for City Walk, which is one you're watching right now. So this video will consist of your entry experience and City Walk, and then the other 2 videos will be of the parks themselves. One of the cool things about Universal Studios, even though they have this long pathway here, to combat this long pathway, they have these moving walkways that you see on the right, and that basically will carry you over to the other side of this very long walkway that you can also choose to walk if you want to. I thought I would choose walking just to show you how long it actually takes to get from one side to the other, if you choose to walk. Now, the reason I decided to break this place up into 3 separate videos is because if I made it into one long video, it would be about 2 hours long. So to save you guys the time of watching a whole 2-hour long video of the entire resort, I thought I would break it up into separate videos to make it a bit easier, so that way you can watch the video of your choice. Now, depending on which parking garage you are placed in, you may have to make a right or left-hand turn. If you are put in the parking garage on the left, you'll make a right-hand turn to the security checkpoint. If you're on the right, if you put in the parking garage on the right, you'll make a left-hand turn. So let's head over to security. And here we are. So this is your security checkpoint, just one giant dome, basically, consisting of about 12 or so metal detectors. That's basically just, again, to deal with the massive amount of people that Universal Studios gets every day. And you have a little concession stand over here. There's a bathroom right behind us, which they just recently renovated, looking nice. And then right here is a little gift shop that they usually have. Right now it is not open, as this was filmed pretty early in the day, so a lot of the things you'll see later on were not quite open yet. And so this is just, again, your security checkpoint. So let's pass through. And once you get on the other side, you'll make a left-hand turn and continue down this pathway, which will take you into City Walk. And just like the pathways before, they also have the same moving walkways placed on the walkway that helps you get to the other side a bit quicker. Otherwise, again, you can choose to walk, and you have one going towards City Walk and then some going back from City Walk. So again, just ways to help you get from one end to the other a bit quicker. Now, City Walk was part of a huge expansion to the Universal Studios area. Originally, it was just Universal Studios Florida, and when City Walk was built, it is basically what transformed it from Universal Studios Florida into Universal Orlando Resort that we know it today. As when City Walk was built, came with it also is the second park of the resort, that is Universal Studios Islands of Adventure. Again, we will get to those parks later on, but now, because of City Walk is what turned it into the resort that it is today. There's an area for valet parking. If you do have access to that, you can use that, and that's where you'll come up from. Some notes for valet parking. If you are coming before 6 p.m., it's going to be $32 for 2 hours. Between $65 and $75 for over 2 hours. If you're coming after 6 p.m., it's still going to be $32 for 2 hours. It will be between $40 and $75 for over 2 hours. And then if you're coming during Halloween Horror Nights, which is the park's Halloween event, it will be $75 after 6 p.m. for over 2 hours. If you are preferred pass holders, you get 50% off, and if you are premium pass holders, you get valet parking for free. So something to utilize if you do have access to that. And once you get to the end of the walkway, you are going to have your first few things here. To the right here, you have a mini golf course. You just go down these stairs here. That takes you to the mini golf course. Right next to that is the built-in movie theater that they have here in City Walk. To the left is your first restaurant you'll encounter is Bubba Gump, one of the sit-down restaurants in the area. And this basically is just one giant hangout area. This place, City Walk, is typically open much later than the theme parks. So it's basically, again, just serves as one giant hangout area for folks after they get done with their day at one of the theme parks. There's a Starbucks here on the left, as well as a Cold Stone Creamery. And basically just throughout this entire area, you'll find different restaurants and gift shops. Some notable gift shops are the Universal Studios Store, as well as Hart and Huntington Tattoo Company. There's also a rock shop. Back here is guest services, and in that hallway there, tucked away on the left, is a bathroom. There's a set of escalators taking you up to the second level. In front of us is the Universal Studios Stores, that building there on the right. Okay, one of the other notable stores is they have a rock shop, which sells logos and other music-themed apparel. On the left here is the Cowfish Sushi Burger Bar, another sit-down restaurant. There's a little concession stand, and you get to the end of City Walk. You'll have a split off going to the left or to the right. If you go to the right, that would take you to Universal Studios Florida, and go to the left, that'll take you to Islands of Adventure. But again, those two parks will get their own video coming soon. But for now, I'm going to take you up this way. That store you see in front of us is actually advertising Epic Universe, which is the new theme park of the area, set to open in 2025. So we're really looking forward to that when it opens next year. But for now, I want to take you up these stairs to the second level of City Walk, as there are some notable things up here and that you could probably miss if you do not come up this way. The first thing you're going to encounter is dining, dancing, cocktails. There are a lot of places to get different sort of alcoholic beverages, such as cocktails. Over here is Rising Star Karaoke. It's a karaoke bar. And we'll just continue down this pathway here. There's a little beverage stand. Next to that is Fat Tuesday, yet another area where you can get some alcoholic beverages. Kind of an interesting name for a restaurant, but it is what it is. Right here, the great movie Escape. This is an escape room, and there's basically two different settings you can immerse yourself in. And it's just through those doors there straight ahead. I have not done that yet, so I can't say exactly how it is, but I know people who have done it, they say it's pretty cool. So again, another thing worth checking out if you want to. And you got a hot dog stand there, Mexican place to our left. And we will now head back down these stairs. On the left next to us is Jimmy Buffet's Margaritaville, another sit-down restaurant. And we are basically now on the Islands of Adventure side. So if you went back this pathway on the right, that would take you back towards the main area, City Walk, and then again get you over to the Universal Studios side. So we're going to continue down this pathway. Here's another little gift shop. There's an area on the left where you can see live music, and again another area where you can get some more cocktails and some food. Another concession stand here on the right. And we are now approaching what is the Islands of Adventure side. And you can always identify Islands of Adventure via the massive iconic light tower you see there towering above with the Islands of Adventure logo posted on the side of it. But again, Islands of Adventure as well as Universal Studios will get its own separate video, so this is all you'll see of it in this video. This bridge walks over the lagoon that City Walk surrounds, and in the lagoon you'll find the water taxi. As of right now, Universal Studios has 8 different on-site hotels, and if you are staying at one of those hotels, you do have access to that water taxi. It'll basically bring you right to the dock that is on the other side of where we're at right now, or they do also have an access to the shuttle, which is what will get you to the park as well. But there's the lagoon. There's a little look at the City Walk area. Hey, look, it's me in the shadow. And now this pathway here on the right is another way to get from one side, basically get from one side to the other. So if you decided you want to go to your Universal Studios instead of Islands of Adventure, you can use this pathway that connects you to either side. But there are a couple noteworthy restaurants down here. The first one here is here on the left. This is the Chocolate Emporium, where you can get different kind of dessert items. I have had the opportunity of checking this place out. It is pretty good, so again, another thing worth checking out. You just go up those stairs to the left and that'll get you into the Chocolate Emporium. And the next thing, next to the Chocolate Emporium, is another one of the sit-down restaurants in the City Walk area. It is the Hard Rock Cafe. I have not eaten at this place, but it does look pretty good, and I will eventually check it out. But it does look like it serves like burgers and probably some of your other typical options. But if you want to check out Hard Rock Cafe, it is right here between Islands Adventure and Universal Studios. And there you can see one of the water taxis going. Again, if you are staying in one of the on-site hotels, you will have free access to those water taxis. Takes you from one of the resorts to the park. So if that's something that interests you, you can take advantage of that. Just do note, naturally, if you're staying in one of the on-site hotels, it will be fairly expensive. But if you want to fork over the money to do that, you have that option. City Walk, again, was an add-on. It wasn't here originally. It was opened in 1999 and again brought with it Islands of Adventure. But originally it was only Universal Studios Florida. And here you can see part of Universal Studios. That big red coaster you see there is Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. And again, we will get to that ride and Universal Studios in a different video. But before, it was just Universal Studios Florida. There you can see Rip Ride Rocket going. And City Walk actually took over the old parking lot for Universal Studios. And again, with City Walk and Islands of Adventure opening is what turned it into Universal Orlando Resort that we know it today. So that is pretty cool to know. And we are now approaching the Universal Studios side of City Walk, and you can identify this side by this massive rotating globe with the Universal name on the side. Really cool touch. It has misters going around it and does slowly rotate. And it's a very picturesque area. Nice photo op if it's your first time here. There's the park exit. And your main entryway into Universal Studios will be through these gigantic archways that you see here on the left. And I say gigantic, it looks like you are naturally entering a movie studio. And there you can get an idea of what it's like. If you are on one of the resorts, that is one of the entrances you'll use getting into the park. But there's your entrance to Universal Studios. But again, that will get its own separate video, and we will come back to that later. For now, we're going to head back across this bridge and head back into City Walk. There's another look at the globe. There's another look at the lagoon. Again, you can see some more boats going. All right. Yeah, someone asked me to take a photo of their group as I was doing this, so I had to pause briefly, but let's continue. Grill and Brew, that massive building you see in front of us, is another sit-down restaurant. It's kind of your bar and grill of the resort. Down here on the right is how you'll access the water taxi. And there's another look at Grill and Brew. That's my bad. But here is a look at the dock for the water taxi. And I'll zoom in. You can see a couple of the hotels that it takes you to. Again, if you are staying in one of the resorts, there are It does grant you access to the water taxi, and it'll drop you off right there. Very nice and convenient for those who are staying on site. If you do not want to take the water taxi, the park does again have a shuttle that you can take as well. And you just have a bunch of little souvenir stands like that placed throughout the entire City Walk area. There's an Auntie Anne's. Voodoo Donuts is an area where you can obviously get some donuts and some really good ones as well. I do recommend checking that out if you get the chance. There's another look at the Universal Studios store. And we're gonna go up here because if I kept going straight, it would just take us back to where we already were. So I'm gonna take you up here, as there are a few extra restaurants up here that you may miss if you do not know they're up here. Menchie's is a frozen yogurt place. This is where you have the tattoo place as well. I personally don't really get tattoos, but if you are someone that is a fan of getting tattoos, they do have a tattoo place here. And just through these doors here on the right. They also have a Burger King as well as a Panda Express and Moe's. That's some of your fast service restaurants. So if you do not want to partake in any of the full service restaurants like Bubba Gump or Cowfish, you can get quick service. They have Burger King. Again, they have Burger King, Panda Express, Moe's, and a few others as well. And as you'll see, there's not really much up here. Again, it's just another little extra area that they have here with some extra food stands. But there isn't really much up here. There's another look at the mini golf area. Bring you over here so you can go get another look at the entrance to the movie theater. Tucked back away there. The doors tucked away there is your entrance to the movie theater. And that's basically all that's up here. We will head back across this pathway here. And if you kept going straight, it would take you back to the area where we were by the karaoke bar, as well as the great movie escape area and that whole area again we were just at. So instead, we are going to head down these escalators on the right. And that's basically going to take us down, again, back down to the main level, and that's going to conclude this little walkthrough of City Walk. So, again, City Walk isn't meant to be the full day attraction here. Again, the main reason you're going to come to Universal Studios is for the two theme parks. But City Walk is worth checking out for sure. It is, again, basically just one giant hangout area with a bunch of restaurants, gift shops. And again, they are typically open later, usually around midnight or 11 p.m. They usually open much later than the actual parks themselves. So again, just one giant hangout area for you if you aren't quite done with your day at Universal. So we're now heading back towards the walkway, and if you keep going straight, it will take you back to the security checkpoint. And that's basically going to do it for this City Walk walkthrough. So the next video you'll see from Universal Studios will be of Universal Studios Florida, which was the first park of the Orlando Resort area. So thank you for watching this walkthrough of City Walk. I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for part 2 of Universal Studios Florida. Take care.